Updates in Photoshop and Photoshop Beta are already available. In this video, we find out how those updates really influence on the editing result. Open photo in Photoshop, I click with right mouse button on the photo and choose Edit in Photoshop. Here we need to choose a crop tool and set up 4:5 ratio. And on the top menu bar, choose Generative Expand. Just drag by the borders to cover the whole picture in the new frame. And when you press Enter, you will see the Generative Expand window will appear. Here you can type the prompt what you would like to see on new areas of the photo. But I will recommend you to leave this window empty and just press Generate button. Wait when Photoshop will generate new parts of the photo, and here we can see really nice results, except the new generated parts of the photo have very bad quality. Unfortunately, in Photoshop we can only leave a feedback of the new generated parts and no possibilities of increasing the quality. At this stage, let's switch to Photoshop Beta and see what editing results it allows us to reach. Inside of Photoshop Beta, everything looks just the same, only the one title is a bit different. So let's repeat the same actions by choosing crop tool, set up 4:5 ratio and drag by the borders to cover the whole photo in the new frame. From the top menu bar, choose Generative Expand and click on the check icon. It will start automatically generate a new parts of the photo, and this is a result that Photoshop Beta provides us with. Here you can see the results of Generative Expand in Photoshop and Photoshop Beta. In my opinion, those options are a bit more creative, which includes more additional details on the background. But if we will zoom in the photo, we will see the same harsh line between the original photo and new generated parts. And here is where new AI updates come to the rescue, because here you can see near each generated option two icons, and left icon allows us to increase the details on the new generated parts, become more closer to more realistic results, and get rid of the harsh line between original photo and generated parts. So we tested Generative Expand in Photoshop and Photoshop Beta, so now let's test Generative Fill in both softwares. For this, I opened a photo in Photoshop and took lasso tool to select the area where I would like to generate something new. When selection is ready, I click with right mouse button on the photo and choose Generative Fill. In prompt window, I type blooming tree with white flowers because I want to reach effect of the blooming tree. And when I click Generate button, we can see the first result that Photoshop provides us with. I will be honest, I really like this result, but I never missed the chance to check other options that Generative Fill generate. If I don't like the options, I click Generate button once again to see what else Photoshop can provide me with. Obviously, I can see that blooming tree with white flowers is a bit tricky task for Generative Fill, so I change the prompt and make it a bit simpler, and those actions can be repeated more times until you will find the best option for you. But now let's switch to Photoshop Beta and see if this software can handle the task better. As before, I use lasso tool to select the areas I would like to change on the photo, and here I will type just the same prompt as I did in Photoshop, so Photoshop Beta and Photoshop could have completely the same conditions of creating the final result. And here we can see the first results of Generative Fill, which already look more realistic than in Photoshop. But the amazing feature appeared in Generative Fill in Photoshop Beta, where we can add a reference image. For this, I opened FreePic website and find some lifestyle photo of the similar blooming tree with white flowers that I would like to use. And I really enjoyed this tree on the blue sky, so I downloaded it. And to upload image, need to click on Choose Image button and choose image from the device. You will see such a little check mark icon, and you can leave prompt or erase it. After click Generate button, we will see the final result, which probably I put too much hopes on, as obviously the details of the tree are much lower, and so why blue sky from the original photo appeared on the generated parts. And at this point, I would like to pay your high attention to the tips that Photoshop Beta provides you with when you test new features. As for example, here you can see that for the best results, it's better to use a reference image on a white or black background. So I repeated my search and tried to find the blooming tree on the white background, and I really like this type of the image. So again, I edited it as a reference image and click Generate button. And even if the final result doesn't fit much to my idea on the photo, I really like the details and how the flowers look alike to the reference photo I attached. Another great feature is hidden over here that allow you to generate a similar option to the one that you like the most and probably reach even better results. On the screen you can see how this feature worked with my blooming tree. But if the nature was always a strong side of Generative Fill, let's test its weaker side, which will be generating animals. For this, let's start with Photoshop, and as always with lasso tool, I select the area where I would like to generate something new, and I would like to see some sheep on the field. And to be honest, I didn't expect a lot, but I didn't expect something like this. So I hope to find in some other options some better results, but to be honest, animals stay a weak part of the Photoshop Generative Fill. And a little spoiler, not for a long time. Because if you will open Photoshop beta version and repeat just the same action with the same request, you will be so surprised to see the final results, as those animals look crazy realistic, and even other options will offer you a very good results. So here you can see one photo after editing in Photoshop beta and in Photoshop. And if you think that this is all updates, next I will share the new feature that allow you to remove the background and replace the background on the photo. So to remove the original background on your photo, just click on the remove background button. Remove background button automatically remove background from your photo, and it provides really decent results. Now the taskbar is a bit changed, and we see two buttons, that is generate background and import background. If you cannot see these two buttons over here, just be sure that you selected the mask layer on the layer panel, and these two buttons will appear on the taskbar. So to generate new background, just click on generate background button and type your prompt for the background, and in a few seconds we already can explore the first option that Generative will provide us with. But if you feel that background is off, you can change your prompt or generate more options. But in my situation, I decided to change the position of the subject on the photo just to reach more usual and common composition for the portrait shots. Here you can see the generative background button disappeared from the bar. That is why I need to click on the mask layer on the layer panel, and the button will appear on the taskbar. I decided to change the prompt for the future background, and that's what the result I got. Changing the position of the subject on the photo was really a good idea for creating more balanced composition and more natural background behind. But if you would like to import the background from the photos you already have, that's what you need to do to make this background look real and natural. At first, find the perfect position for your background according to your subject, then the selected background layer, click on filter and choose neural filter. Here choose harmonization, filter, and select a layer with your original photo. Basically this process is automatic, and after this the color of your new background have to fit to your original photo, but additionally I use sliders over here to correct the color of the background better to my original photo. In output field, select new layer and click OK. One more essential editing step will be blurring the new background. For this, go into filter, blur, and choose Gaussian blur. There is no one specific blurriness level for all photos, so just play with this slider to find the best option for you. And that's how you can create a new background for your photo with Photoshop.